It was a chilly evening in late October when Melissa Carter realized just how heavy life's burdens had become. She had been juggling two part-time jobs ever since her divorce, trying to keep up with bills, take care of her home, and make sure her teenage daughter Emily didn't feel the sting of financial struggles. Melissa had always been the kind of woman who carried her weight in silence, who smiled through her troubles, who held her head high no matter what storms raged behind closed doors. But that night, as she sat at the dining table staring at the mounting bills, the smile had faded, and the storm inside felt too great to contain. Her sister, Denise, had called earlier that week to let her know that her son, Ethan, would be visiting town. Ethan was a few years younger than Melissa, just 23, and had recently finished his degree in mechanical engineering. Denise had always been proud of him, and Melissa remembered him as the sweet boy who used to run around the backyard, chasing fireflies on summer nights. It had been years since she last saw him, but she welcomed the news of his visit. She figured Emily would enjoy the company, and maybe having someone young and energetic in the house could bring a little light back into their tired lives. When Ethan arrived, Melissa was surprised at how much he had grown. He was no longer the boy she remembered, but a tall, kind-faced young man with a gentle demeanor. His hair was dark and slightly messy, and his easy smile reminded her of his mother. He greeted Melissa warmly, giving her a hug that felt genuine and comforting, and then turned to Emily with a playful grin, instantly putting her at ease. Melissa hadn't expected much from his stay, perhaps just a few days of small talk and shared meals, but she quickly realized Ethan had a way of noticing things most people overlooked. He saw the broken fence in the backyard and offered to fix it without hesitation. He noticed the way the cabinet door in the kitchen didn't quite shut, and within an hour, he had it working again. Even the squeaky hinge on the front door, something Melissa had ignored for years, was suddenly silent after Ethan quietly repaired it. Melissa found herself watching him with a mix of gratitude and amazement. Life had been so full of responsibilities that she had stopped asking for help. She had grown used to doing everything herself, even when it left her exhausted and drained. Yet here was this young man, her nephew, stepping in without being asked, without making her feel inadequate or ashamed. He simply saw what needed to be done, and did it. One evening, as rain poured outside and thunder rolled in the distance, the power went out. Melissa sighed, already imagining the hassle of digging out flashlights and candles. But Ethan calmly stood up, found the breaker, and had the lights back on within minutes. Emily clapped and called him a hero, and Melissa couldn't help but laugh. It had been a long time since laughter came so easily in their home. Over the following weeks, Ethan became more than just a guest. He became a presence that shifted the atmosphere in the house. He cooked dinners when Melissa was too tired to lift a pan, telling her to sit down and rest. He helped Emily with her math homework, patiently explaining each step until she understood. He even took care of the yard, mowing the grass and raking leaves, things Melissa had been too overwhelmed to keep up with. But what struck Melissa most wasn't just the physical help. It was his kindness, his way of truly listening when she spoke. One night, as they sat on the porch, Melissa admitted how hard things had been since the divorce. She had never wanted to burden anyone with her struggles, but the words spilled out before she could stop them. Ethan didn't interrupt, didn't offer empty advice. He just listened, nodding gently, and when she finished, he simply said, "You've been carrying too much alone. You don't have to." Tears welled in Melissa's eyes, not because of sadness, but because of the relief in hearing those words. She hadn't realized how badly she needed someone to remind her that she wasn't weak for needing help. As days turned into weeks, Ethan's visits stretched longer than planned. He told Melissa he was looking for work nearby, and she encouraged him to stay as long as he needed. Emily had grown attached to him, often calling him the big brother she never had, and Melissa secretly found comfort in his presence too. The house no longer felt so heavy, the air no longer so stifling. There was laughter again, warmth again, and for the first time in years, Melissa felt hopeful. One Saturday morning, Melissa woke to the smell of pancakes and coffee. She walked into the kitchen to find Ethan humming softly as he flipped pancakes, with Emily setting the table beside him. The sight made her smile wider than she had in months. Later that day, Ethan drove them out to a nearby park, where they spent hours walking the trails, feeding ducks at the pond, and sharing stories. Melissa realized then how much she had missed simple joys, the kind of moments that didn't cost money, but filled the heart with peace. It wasn't just that Ethan had helped fix things in the house, he had helped mend something deeper. He reminded Melissa that kindness still existed, that family could lift each other up in times of need. She began sleeping better at night, the constant worry loosening its grip on her mind. By the time Thanksgiving rolled around, Melissa couldn't imagine the house without Ethan. When Denise came by for the holiday, she laughed as she noticed how comfortable he had become in Melissa's home. "Looks like my boy's been busy helping you out," she said with a grin. Melissa smiled, glancing at Ethan with genuine gratitude. "He's been more than helpful. I don't know what I would have done without him." That evening, as everyone sat around the dinner table, sharing food and laughter, Melissa realized something profound. Life wasn't meant to be carried alone. Help didn't make her weak. It made her stronger. And sometimes, the most unexpected people could walk into your life and remind you of that truth. After dinner, when everyone had gone to bed, Melissa found herself standing at the window, looking out at the quiet night. She thought about the months before Ethan came, about how heavy everything had felt, how close she had been to giving in to despair. Then she thought about now, how much lighter everything seemed, how much stronger she felt, how hope had returned. And it all came back to one simple truth she whispered to herself with a smile. "Your nephew was very kind. He helped me.